everyone. Are you the person who likes to unveil the mind blowing stories behind places, events, and objects that have been hiding? Do you like to time travel and look for tales behind everyday items you never thought about? Are you ready to embark on a wild ride through time? Then, this is the channel for you. Welcome to Beyond Beginnings and get ready to explore the extraordinary and uncover the hidden gems. Today, let's dive into something epic. Have you ever stopped to think about the incredible connection between the sky and the ocean? From the sky's the limit to as deep as the ocean, there's this cosmic vibe that ties them together. Well, guess what? We are about to unravel the mystery that ties together everything from the vast sky to the boundless ocean. Have you ever noticed the striking similarities between flowers like cornflowers, veronicas, pansies, and hyacinths? It turns out these vibrant blooms share something in common with a lively bunch of creatures like bitterfish, dot frogs, kingfishers, emperor butterflies, peacocks, and hyacinth macaws. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intriguing, let's throw in some juicy fruits like damson plums, Concord grapes, and elderberries. But wait, we are not done yet as we rock the mineral world with cobalt, apatite, lapis lazuli, sodalite, and sapphire. Do you know what's the glue that binds this kaleidoscope of beauty? You got it. The one and only blue. Today, we are unlocking the secrets of the color blue. And trust me, this isn't just about aesthetics. It's about tapping into a world of significance that directly impacts your life. Whether it's influencing your mood, sparking creativity, or weaving through the tapestry of history, the color blue is more than just a pigment. Get ready to see blue in a whole new light and discover why this seemingly simple color is anything but ordinary. This isn't just about trends, it's about understanding a shade that's been shaping your experiences all along. Join me on a ride through history as we explore the enchanting tales behind this mesmerizing hue. Despite the abundance of blue in nature, the cave drawings from prehistoric times surprisingly lack the color blue. Instead, researchers have uncovered the use of yellow, red, charcoal, and even materials like bone to create pigments in these ancient artworks. So, when did humanity first embrace the captivating color blue in their artistic endeavors? The journey began nearly 7,000 years ago when people started using the enchanting blue stone known as lapis lazuli for both jewelry and cosmetics. This remarkable blue stone was mined from the Saraing Valley in the Hindu Kush mountains of Afghanistan. Lapis lazuli, a metamorphic rock and semi-precious gem, held immense value during Indus Valley civilization. It found its way into ancient Egypt, where it was utilized in numerous ways. For instance, the eyebrows in the death mask of Pharaoh Tutankhamun were adorned with lapis lazuli, and even Queen Cleopatra VII used a blue mixture derived from this stone as eyeshadow. Despite its various uses, artists still couldn't use lapis lazuli as a paint because when crushed and exposed to oxygen, it turned into a pale grey powder. So people had to find a way to transform this blue stone into a blue pigment that can be used as a paint. The process began by selecting the darkest lapis lazuli and crushing it into coarse fragments. These fragments were then heated until they became red hot, after which cold vinegar was poured onto them. This mixture was left for several days and then cold water was added, followed by grinding to create a powder. The powder was then mixed with various types of oil and formed into a cake. Warm water was poured onto this cake and kneaded, allowing the pure blue pigment to settle at the bottom for collection. This remarkable blue pigment was called ultramarine and was exported to Europe during medieval times. Its name, ultramarine, signifies from across the seas, highlighting the extensive journey it had to undertake to reach Europe. Due to the laborious process involved in its production and the overseas voyage, it was valued at approximately 10 times the price of gold. Today, lapis lazuli is also mined in various parts of the world, including Russia, Chile, Pakistan, Italy, Mongolia, the United States, and Canada. As ultramarine remained a highly expensive pigment, people sought innovative ways to produce it artificially. In France, a reward of 6,000 francs was offered to anyone who could successfully create ultramarine. A German scientist and a French scientist both arrived to claim the prize nearly simultaneously. It happened because they had independently developed processes for crafting artificial ultramarine. At the end, the prize was awarded to the German scientist Christian Gottlob Mellin, as he had not only successfully created it but also scaled up production to an industrial level. With this breakthrough, the once rare pigment became widely accessible to all. It wasn't just reserved for artists. Even homemakers incorporated it into their laundry routines to restore the whiteness of dull clothing. Additionally, it was used in the sugar industry to achieve a brilliant white color. The secret to its success lay in the fact that blue, being the complementary color of yellow, had the remarkable ability to make yellowish objects appear whiter when a touch of blue was added to them. Was lapis lazuli the sole source of blue pigment during this era? Not quite. Different regions around the world developed their own methods for producing blue pigments. In parts of Mediterranean, Central America, Mexico, and Japan, people used secretions from a particular snail as a source of blue dye. Astonishingly, it took approximately 12,000 snail shells to yield just 1 gram of dye. This method was not only unsustainable but also quite expensive. The blue dye extracted from these snails was primarily used for religious purposes in the early days. During medieval times in Europe, a plant known as woad was cultivated to extract blue dye. Farmers would harvest woad plants, mill the leaves into pulp, and allow it to ferment for several weeks. The resulting material was formed into balls and sold to those who wished to dye their clothes. Buyers would chop these balls into pieces, soak them with water and urine, and let them ferment once more. This produced a yellowish white color that was soluble in water. These dyed clothes, when exposed to air while drying, would oxidize and transform into a beautiful indigo blue. In Europe, much like the woad plant, people in Africa, India, and East Asia used a similar process to derive blue dye from the indigofera plant to color their garments. This dye gained popularity in Europe after Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India. In some parts of Europe, laws were made to protect the woad industry from the competition of indigo trade. Indigo became popular because it was more affordable than growing woad locally. By 1830, there were over 1,000 indigo factories in Bengal, India, where planters forced peasants to cultivate indigo instead of food crops. Unfortunately, the farmers received a mere 2.5% of the market price for their efforts, leading to the infamous Indigo Revolt in Bengal, India in 1859. This revolt continued for over a year and had a profound impact on the then British government in India, which subsequently appointed the Indigo Commission in 1860. In the Commission's report, E.W.L. Tower testified, "Not a chest of indigo reached England without being stained with human blood." The abuse of people in the quest for this valuable blue dye wasn't limited to India. In West Africa, merchants used stripes of indigo cloth to purchase individuals and sell them into slavery. Enslaved Africans brought the knowledge of indigo cultivation with them and were used to cultivate indigo in the United States as slaves. Leaders and landowners worldwide exploited or enslaved people to secure this precious blue dye. Due to its rarity and grandeur, blue became synonymous with royalty, and indigo was often referred to as blue gold. But what about everyday people? When did blue dye and clothing become accessible to them? When did scientists develop chemical processes that brought the color blue within everyone's reach? We have explored some of the natural sources of blue earlier in this video, but are there more hidden in the world around us? How does the human eye perceive blue? Is blue just a color, or does it evoke a particular feeling? In our next video, we'll dive into these intriguing questions and uncover even more about the world of blue. Thank you everyone for joining us on this journey with Beyond Beginnings. If you found this video interesting, make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when I release the next video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time on Beyond Beginnings.